So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits and my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I am so glad that you're here and that you guys found me. For those of you guys who are returning, I'm so blessed and so grateful to do your reading again today. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Today's reading will be a pick a card reading, and we'll have 3 options to choose from right here. These are the decks I'll be using for today's reading, and I'll put a link right here for those of you guys interested in the deck reveal for these. And one simple sort of disclaimer for today's reading. Okay, today's reading is about the truth you're needing to hear. Now, if it doesn't make sense, then you're not ready to hear whatever said truth is, okay? Or it's just not your reading. But it doesn't mean that it's not a truth for you. But when we're ready to hear certain truths, it will make sense. Okay, this doesn't mean it feels good. This doesn't mean it might not challenge what your beliefs are. This just means it's a truth that you're needing to hear and see. And so, if it does trigger you, it could still be your pile, okay? Meaning it's pushing up against something maybe that you believe, but it's not trying to convince you of anything other than to examine your energy. That's it, okay? So, if it's not your pile, it's not your pile. I cannot tell you whether it's your pile or your pile. Okay, the more energetically charged you are emotionally with the triggering, the more I can say it is your pile. Because the truth will make us feel all sorts of ways, whereas something that doesn't resonate, it will be indifferent. There is no charge. Okay, so if it doesn't charge you, then it's not your pile. Go check out another pile. Okay, so beautiful angels, let's take a look at the truth that you're needing to hear right here, right now. And we'll take a look at your current energy just to sort of gauge your situation or your circumstance. And if you don't resonate with that part being what you're experiencing, then it's not your pile. Okay, so I want to make sure that we're tapped into the right piles. Otherwise, we're just sort of creating anxieties for no reason. Okay, so we will get into the deck selection, and then when you're ready, you can select from the timestamp below, and I'll see you guys at your pick. Gorgeous angels, these are your 3 options to choose from for today's reading in regards to the truth you're needing to hear right here, right now. Option number 1, Frantic Pinter's Tarot. Option number 2, the Shuffle Tarot Collection A. Option number 3, we have the Phantom Wise Tarot. All right, so sit with this energy, and when you're ready, select from the timestamp below, and I'll see you guys at your pick. Pile number 1, you guys picked the Frantic Pinter Tarot, and we're looking at the truth you are needing to hear right here, right now. Now, whether you're ready to hear this truth or not, I don't know, okay? So if it doesn't register or make any sense or resonate, either you're not ready for this truth or it's just not your pile, okay? But we'll try to see what sort of energy you're in or whatever your situation's about, okay, and then pick on whatever truth is here. Now, you might already see a truth. Maybe it's just repeating what you already know. This could be in your blind spot as well, okay? Might be something you're not wanting to see. I don't know, okay? But just because we're triggered or resistant doesn't mean it's not the truth, okay? And this video isn't intended to trigger. It's just intended for you to get clarity, period, okay? So let's take a look at the pre-shuffled oracle cards and the tarot and take a look at the truth you are needing to hear right here, right now. So we have a change in the wind, number 12. So Pisces, Taurus, Libra energy pulling through. And then we have empathy, moon in Pisces. All right, so strong Pisces energy. And again, Taurus, Libra energy pulling through. Have two animals here, a zebra and a doggy and a bird. Sorry, three animals. Okay, and then we have guilt with the sacral chakra. And then we have let it go. You're being asked to let go of whatever pain and resentment you've been holding on to. It's hurting you. And you can't fully be present in your life if you're holding on to this negativity. Release it and be free. Did I say empathy? I don't know if I read that. Empathy. All right. And then we have Aries. I am number 13. So we have some Scorpio and some Aries energy with the 13. Heavy Aries, divine masculine energy here. And then we have the yin moon with accept help. So yin is divine feminine energy. Accept help. Okay, and then we have joyful muse, inspiration, 33. 33 is a master number, reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, joy, and harmony. So more of this Taurus, Libra, Pisces energy, but also I'm getting Capricorn and Gemini with the 6, okay? But 33. So we could be seeing 3, 3, 3. There's another 3 here, lots of 3s. Okay, 3s are all about growth, relationships, initial success, creativity, communication, self-expression. Let's take a look at the tarot and then channel the truth you're needing to hear right here, right now. Spirit, for pile number 1. And what is the truth they're needing to hear? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. So blessed to be here doing your reading. What is the honest truth here that pile number 1 is needing to hear that will help them in whatever way here? We got 3. I feel like one more here and right here. Okay, let's take a look. So we have the Knight of Wands. The horse is facing the same way the zebra is facing here. Lots of animals in your reading. The zebra, the ram, the cat, the dog, the bird, the butterfly. No, that's not a butterfly, sorry. That's another bird. Looks like a dove. And then the horse. And then some bulls below here. Okay. And we have the 7 cups. And we have the 2 of Wands in reverse. And then we have the 5 of Pentacles. And we have the 9 of Wands. Yeah. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And then these 3 cards. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. We have the 3 of Swords in reverse. And then we have the 7 cups. Didn't I say 7 cups? Have I always been reading this as a 7 cups? Why are there 2 7 cups? Am I completely on crack? 7 is Chariot in the major arcana, but this ain't no Chariot. And this is clearly a 7 cups. So what the hell? And I've had this deck forever. Like, look at this revelation I'm having. Are we sitting with something forever? And we're just finally seeing something, or it's right in front of our nose? Let me see. Why is there 2 7 cups here? I have to see. You guys can definitely skip ahead. Seven Cups. A musician plays a saxophone. Okay, so that's as a Seven Cups. So let's see what the Chariot is in this thing. Maybe that's why the Chariots never come through. 7. 2 men prepare to harness a white horse. No. Is this even part of this deck? It's not part of this deck, you guys. What you're needing to know is to put your tarot cards in the right pack. Look, this is not the same deck. This is from this Healing Light. And I do feel, sorry, this is going in a weird direction. Let us pull this deck. And we might have to do something here with this deck, okay? I'm going to put that over here. But yeah, you got 7 of Cups twice, you guys. Yeah. Okay. And we got the Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. Knight of Wands. Okay, so let me just keep that like that. 8 of Wands. Alrighty, back on track. Focus, Linda. Give me a second before I get all crazy. You guys can skip ahead, like I said. Change in the wind. Eight of Wands. And then the Page of Cups in reverse. And the Knight of Cups under that, which we got here. Okay. All right, pile number 1. I have lots of questions here, and if you didn't sit through the card layouts, there's another deck that pulled through because it was very similar, and it got mixed in with this deck. So you got the 7 of Cups twice, okay? Which isn't a coincidence here. It's a synchronicity of sorts, which we have to pay attention to, okay? Like I always say, it could be your energy around you. Don't force it to be your energy if it's not, but it's definitely one person sort of energy that I'm tapped into here. Okay, so we're creating our own confusion, okay? And maybe we know it on some level. And it's like, I don't know what to do, and I don't know which way to go. And we almost feel like it's blocked here. The choices. It's like, I don't know what's right, and I'm completely confused as to what to do or what options are in front of me. And so maybe we feel very frozen or like we can't do anything at all. Okay, but this is a safe route to protect ourselves, obviously, because we might really just have too much confusion to confirm to us that if we were to say or do something, that it would be right, or that it would fix something, or that it would help something at all. And so we just don't do anything, except this is what's making us feel not good. Because I feel like you feel not good here with this 5 of Pentacles, and it stemmed from your defensive energy. Okay, now you might say, I'm not defensive. Okay, but there is a protecting, coping energy around you. Because 1, maybe you don't want to get hurt further, or 2, maybe you're questioning anything you can do might make things hurt you or expose you or leave you vulnerable or make you feel something you're not prepared. And so this energy within itself is leaving you out in the cold. So whatever you are trying to protect yourself from feeling, you're already feeling. So this truth is coming through, like whatever it is that you are doing to prevent whatever it is you don't want to feel, you're actually cultivating what you don't want to feel by doing what you're doing. That's exactly what this message is showing here. Okay, and so when this almost feels like, and I don't know how long you've been in this state, okay? And we all can relate with this state, because this feels like a very early stage. And this is where we have to really, really pay attention. This feels like an early stage where something happened and it hurt me. And it's early, so I haven't processed it. And I don't know the truth of it yet. And so I'm just reacting as I would react, and this is fine. If I get hurt or if I hear something or something makes me feel a certain way, I react how I initially react. But in order to move beyond initial reaction, there requires something. Okay. And so this is where it's sort of telling you, if this isn't fresh, okay, you might think it's fresh. Let me take my sweater off because now I'm getting hot. And I don't know what corresponds as fresh, okay? But it's obviously coming through here because maybe we've been sitting out in the cold for too long now, okay? And so if whatever hurt you happened like real recently, this is definitely understandable. So I don't see why this message would come through, you know? But I feel like why it's coming through is because we're sitting here longer than need be. Okay, and we can say, well, I just take longer to process, or I'm more sensitive, and it's like, no, a coping mechanism trying to protect oneself, and the situation isn't improving. This situation isn't going to just improve itself here. Okay, and so we might have an ego about ourselves that doesn't want to admit, I don't know, at the end of the day, or doesn't want to admit, I don't like this, whatever happened, we're not saying it's my fault. But we're saying, I don't like what's happened here. And it could be your fault. It could not be your fault. It's irrelevant. The point being, I don't like the result of this thing. And I'm willing to do what I can do. But I can't do it on my own. And so therefore, I must admit what I am capable of doing and what I'm not. And the only reason we would not be able to say this is what I'm capable and this is what I'm not is because we have an ego getting in the way of saying, I cannot. Or I don't know. But this is your energy. I don't know. I don't see. I don't know. I don't understand. And we might not want to say, I don't know. I don't understand. You know, it's like maybe you think I got to figure it all out first. It's like, no. Because there's another side to this equation of this situation, circumstance. Maybe you're dealing with another person. Maybe you're dealing with something where there's a lot of other facts or factors. And it's like, unless you know the other facts and factors, you cannot make an educated, clear decision that's going to heal something here or move something successfully forward. But it's like frozen. Instead of doing anything here, it's like, I'm just going to protect myself and hope it either gets better, it changes on its own, or this at least will protect me. But it's like, well, is it protecting you from what here? Because you're saying, if you resonate with this pile, that you don't like how you're feeling right now. You feel left out in the cold. You feel lack. You feel without. You don't feel accepted. You feel rejected, or you feel not good here. And so I think there's a couple of things here, okay? This change in the wind would normally say things are going to change, you know, like things are changing. But the fact that this zebra is pointing this way and the Wheel of Fortune is stuck, meaning the things are just going to shift on their own magically, and that this change requires a change of perspective with the Hangman here, or the number 12, which means what I have to rise above my situation and see it differently. And sometimes that means I got to see it from the opposite perspective, meaning I'm really hung up on an idea. Okay, I don't think you have any one idea, though, because you seem like you're really confused. But it could mean changing how we see something, rising above a situation and saying the opposite of what we are doing, which is put my hands up, I don't know, defensive, meaning I'm no longer defensive and I do know what I do know. And so I could admit that. That would be an opposite perspective. It's like, I don't know. And here's like, I know what I do know, which might not be everything. Okay. And then also this helpless energy of trying to protect oneself. The opposite is what? Coming forward and say, I need help. That's opposite of defensive and guarding and trying to play it safe, is like coming forward and saying, I don't know. That's also opposite energy. And so the truth here, because it's trying to help you solve your situation to move forward. Okay. But I feel like this guy's leg is stuck in this wheel. And so I don't know if part of you feels, and it's the leg, you know, the leg would be this Aries energy, because the leg would mean to take action on something. Okay, usually I see it as a hand, but the leg is like movement towards, like taking an action step towards would require my involvement. But instead of me getting involved, I'm just here observing from the sidelines. But you are invested because you're waiting or you're watching. It's like, when will it turn? When will it get better? When will the change happen? When? It's like, no, it's never going to happen here. Okay, according to this, of course. And so we need to put on our looking glasses of change. Again, this hangman, the looking glasses, which means when I see it clearer, when I actually see the truth for what it is, which requires me to see it differently, then there'll be a transformation here. Then I could create something beautiful here with this violin, this paintbrushes, okay, inspiration. It's like creating something from nothing. A situation that's stuck, I could create movement. A situation where there's 5 pentacle, lack, feeling out in the cold, I could create beautiful harmony. Okay, that's in your hands, but you have to see it from this perspective. Now, you don't have to do anything, but if you're wanting things to change, if you're wanting it to shift for the better, if you're wanting to come out of the 5 pentacle, if you're not wanting to be hurt or guarded in a corner here, but you might think the opposite, which is, I have to guard myself here because I will get hurt. No, you're guarded here because there's an ego in play that doesn't want to say, I don't know, and I need help here in this situation. And so we got to see it from how we see it here. Okay, now the cat talks about independence and freedom. Okay, and so there's something about the independent self, okay, that needs to marry up with the truth of what we're seeing clearly. Okay, and it could be that, yes, now this is really pulling through here. The independent self would obviously want first reaction to protect its independent self. Okay, when you approach a cat and it's scared, it has its back up, it wants to do its own thing, it doesn't want to be coddled or picked up or anything, it like fights for its life. Okay, that's this energy, first instinct to fight for my life or the independence I need or the freedom I need to hold my position. Okay, which is totally understandable here. But the marriage of the truth of what we need to see that will create the transformation is the independent self needs to come online with the eyes of the truth. What does that mean? That means the independent self without giving one's own independence away and releasing one's own freedom. It doesn't mean the cat needs to be picked up and held hostage. It means the independent self, the cat, needs to come, put the eyes of the truth to see things differently so it could see things clearly so it could still create here. It doesn't have to give up its independence or it doesn't have to give up something of its freedom here. And I feel like if we understood this, then we'd have no problems engaging. And I feel like your situation isn't requiring or isn't threatening this independence or this freedom or this need to be sort of, I don't know, whatever this cat energy is. There is no threat to the cat here. Okay, just like a person who means no harm to the cat is sort of seeing this cat, but the cat's all acting all like, its life is in danger here. It's just a perception that the cat has that it's going to be hit or attacked, you know? In most cases, it's just a normal person or someone who like wants to pet it or feed it or see if the cat is okay. But if the cat is all hyper independent and totally feels like everything could be a threat, it's now preparing for war. I think you're preparing for war here in a situation that I don't feel is trying to create war. But we might have been through battle. We might have been through war. We might have been through a lot here with this 9 of Wands. It tells me you've been through a lot of pain or you've experienced a lot of challenge. And so it's like you anticipate that this situation is going to threaten you. There's an anticipation and you're acting on that anticipation rather than the truth because you're not seeing the truth clearly. You're not seeing it from a greater perspective, which is what the empowerment comes from. This cat being more confident in its ability rather than spazzing out in anticipation it's going to be harmed. Because it does it no good and it does the situation no good. Now it's not going to eat because the human's like, well, I don't want to get near it. I won't put the food out here. So now it's hungry. It's left out in the cold. It doesn't eat. It doesn't drink. It doesn't come inside the house for warmth because it's too unruly and it's too threatened, you know? But if this cat was able to say, I am hungry, because it's not asking it to deny itself or suppress anything about it. I am hungry. I want to eat. And I want to know that I'll be safe here. But I don't know what will happen when I go inside this house. Like, are you going to shut the door and lock me in the cage? you know, and then the person's going to say, no, I'm going to, whatever, free you after you eat. Or it's going to say, well, I had made a bed here for you because it's cold outside. I don't know, but the dialogue will shift, and now it gets to eat, and it's now out of the 5 pentacle. It creates something more harmonious rather than discord. And as long as we're defensive, we create discord. Now, why are we creating the discord here? This says guilt. Okay? And we have empathy right here. By the way, 1212 might be an angel number you're seeing, okay? We already went through the 3333 and then another 3 here, so you might be seeing lots of 3s, okay? But the root, okay, the root here of why we're in this defensive position goes very deep. We're carrying some heavy energy here, whether we acknowledge it, understand it, or don't, okay? And it's in the sacral, and the sacral is my inability to trust, and that's this cat. This cat will not trust anyone, okay? One, it thinks it's my animal instinct to just be wild here, which is partially true, but you're not a cat, okay? But it is natural that this cat act this way because it's in its innate nature. Okay, just like it would be in your innate nature if you are a 9 of Wands, because you have been already through a battle here of disappointments or hurts, that you would be defending this. So that's natural. So maybe you need to hear this. Why am I? Because you might beat yourself up. Why don't I trust? Or why am I defensive? Or why am I guarded? Or why do I feel bad? One, because you have been hurt. And so acknowledging this whole thing, this is what's driving your need for, I don't know, or this frantic sort of energy or whatever you're doing here. Because I don't think it's frantic. I think it's just creating a barrier between you and what you say you want. Okay, so we'll get into all that. But there's a need to let go of the base root of why we act the way we act here. And so how do we let go of something like this? Because if it hurts us, it's like, I can't just say, oh, I'm not hurt no more, right? Like we don't just press a button and the hurt falls away. But what we can do is understand that we were carrying a hurt, or meet that hurt where it's at, and just talk to that hurt within us, okay? Energetically. We don't have to talk out loud. But the only way to let go of it is to acknowledge that it's there. I see you hurt. I see you. You know, if we resist it, pretend it's not there, don't want to meet it, it drives our action, and we can't let it go. And we can't let it go because it's like we're denying its existence. When we acknowledge its existence, but we know that it's not a truth, it's just a feeling that's there, and only we can let go of a feeling, only we can let go of a mind story. Okay, a mind story is not an entity. There's not a real hurt threat, you know? It's like my story that's attached to it, my feeling that's attached to that story. That's the threat, or the thing that makes me feel the way I feel, and I'm the one carrying this thing. It's not a real person trying to penetrate you with hurts. It's like I believe in something within me, and I carry this thing within me. And as long as I carry this within me, I cannot let it go. And so it drives this sort of protective energy. And so once I acknowledge it, see that it's there, see that it's a mind activity, and it's not downplaying it. Yes, you were hurt. Yes, it probably does hurt. But seeing it and acknowledging it is the first step to releasing and being free of it. And with this empathy, it's like we have to see it from a different perspective, saying, whatever happened to me, whatever it was, okay, this is for your own healing and benefit, whatever it was. Whoever was involved did the best they could at that time with what they knew. I did the best I knew with what I had at that time. Okay, so we might be very loyal to the story, loyal to the pain, saying, if I let it go, then it's like I'm not being loyal to myself, or I'm like minimizing that this actually happened, or that the hurt wasn't as strong as it was. And it's like we want to be loyal to that story, you know? But all we're doing here actually is holding on to the story and forcing that belief. And what Spirit is saying here is the loyalty has to come to your healing and the empathy. The empathy isn't that of carrying guilt. As long as we carry the guilt and we don't let it go, we stay in a 5 pentacle, we don't eat the food or the water, we stay isolated and alone and hurt and disappointed. And so this empathy is saying, I can see through a situation here. I could rise above, and I could actually be loyal to my healing and loyal to that in which is more of a, like with this ear and this accepting help, is more of a receptive energy rather than a defensive energy, because this cat is ready to fight for its life. And this situation requires you to be receptive. And when you're receptive and calm, not trying to fight for your life, not trying to not let something happen again or prove something here, protect oneself from what has happened to me in the past, because it's like, this happened and it could happen again. And so now I'm outward energy, outward, or like frozen, or like blocked, or like there's either a blocked wall, but ready to, like, like the cat is in the corner. It's not all scratching already, but it's like, I will scratch. I will flip out. I'll be flippant here if you come near me, So it's like it has its back curl that's ready to be on offense, but it's also defending itself here. And so there's this period of pause, stillness, which I think you're in, but that's holding on to this. And the minute this is let go of or understood, okay, because all you're asking is to see through this with the eyes of empathy, or the ears or the heart of empathy, or the loyalty to the healing rather than the loyalty to the story. And the loyalty to the healing will see things differently because your desire to not be hurt is stronger. You have to have the thirst of not wanting to be hurt, not wanting to be out in the cold, not wanting to hold confusion, not wanting to feel helpless, or like you don't have a choice, or like things are stuck and frozen, like you're isolated and alone. When that becomes too heavy, your loyalty will become to that of healing, peace, and it has to tip the scales. And when the scales get tipped, my strength here is one of loyalty to the healing. And then I'm ready to be receptive and actually hear what is going on in my situation, for maybe for the first time, that this person who was trying to give me milk or whatever, cat food, I don't see it as a threat, because I don't think your situation is posing a threat other than the threat that you're feeling. And so through this process, because trust me, that's very scary, especially when we've carried this, to all of a sudden just trust something. But that's the major transformation. That's seeing it differently and clearly. And we can say, well, how do I know I won't get trusted? Well, that's the womb talking. That's the sacral chakra, not being able to trust the situation. And like I said, like this cat most likely is just a person who wants to give its tender victuals, here's your food. But it's saying harmony could be created here. And now I'm seeing, people say playing the violin, it's like hanging on to the sob story. Okay, and I'm not downplaying your situation. I think it did hurt you. I think it did create pain. I think it did create maybe a trust issue, or like I can't let anyone in, or I got to protect or defend myself, or I got to really like protect my independence here because it was impeded on or threatened on, or whatever happened to you did happen. No one's denying it at all. But this situation, according to these cards, is talking about that which has happened is now determining your engagement. Even if the engagement here doesn't require any of that, it's creating a reality of suffering. It's a little violin story. And so we're shifting. Instead of bringing the little violin to the party, it's like I'm bringing receptivity. I'm here to listen. I'm here to be loyal to the healing and the empathy. So now let's go over here. Okay, and so I feel like something is stuck that could move forward. It could move forward through what? Through communication, through empathy, through harmony, through seeing clearly. When we see our situation from a different perspective, we're able to have a breakthrough here and communicate truths. And so, yeah, it's like I think you feel really hurt by whatever's happened here. Okay, with this 3 swords. And it's like, I lost it, or it's gone, or I don't know what to do to make it come back, or I just feel really, really hurt by the inability to have something move, or have a new pointed direction, or have any different choice than that in which I'm experiencing. And so I just sit here looking at it like frozen and not knowing and not understanding. And I think you want to be able to move forward. I think you want to be able to experience, like happiness for sure. Maybe you just think like happiness will come when the world out there starts to not make me feel threatened, or the world out there aligns and destiny starts to align and things start to move that support my energy how it is right now. It's like, no, Spirit is saying you will forever be caught, even if the circumstances appear, okay, in front of you, even if they're perfect circumstances. Okay, there's no such thing as perfection. But even if the circumstance is non-threatening, it's actually movement, it's actually an opportunity, it will never be what you would define in this hurt energy as something that is safe for you ever. You'd always feel like part of me is going to get trapped, part of me is going to get hurt, part of me will get stuck. And it's like, yes, it will forever, no matter how perfect the situation is, because you need to let go of this thing. Okay, and you might just be sitting there waiting for the harmony to harmonize to your imperfection. Okay, and we all have imperfections. So I'm not saying that, oh, you're imperfect here because of this, but it's saying you could do something about this hurt by letting it go. The thing that always keeps you stuck or trapped or hurt, you got to take the action step, not the universe. This is on you. And we could say, well, the universe could just make it go away in time or bring another situation that wouldn't threaten me or bring this out about me. It's like, no, the situation isn't what's bringing this about you. You have this within you that keeps coming out in any situation, because the circumstance here is totally non-threatening. The only thing it is going to be threatening here is the deficiency and what we're still hanging on to, and the pain and the reason we're defensive and how we engage, because we're not seeing it differently. That hasn't transformed. We're not even seeing it clearly. We want to keep bringing the misery or the violin story to the experience, no matter what that experience is. I got another job now. I got another relationship now. I'm engaged with someone else now, or I'm now in a different situation now. And it's like, let's see if this one will not threaten me or not. It's like, no, it will forever threaten you. All of them will, because your leg is stuck in the wheel, meaning a part of you, this thing that was hurt here, is going to, once there's momentum, once things progress, once the flow of life happens, we're back into the hurt. We're back into the this thing is now threatening me. Why is all relationships threatening? Or why are all jobs always trying to impede on my independence? It's like, no, well, it's not jobs themselves, and it's not relationships themselves. It's the way you're seeing part of yourself and engaged in that. And then you get left out in the cold. This isn't the right job. This relationship just rejects me. I get confused. I don't know what to do. There's no opportunity out here for me. There's never a job for me. There's never a relationship for me. And now I feel hurt. No, breakthrough means what? I got to see my own confusion. I got to see beyond what I've been trapped in order for me to have movement and have both legs running. Okay, because there is a power here, but the power is in the transformation with this 13 Scorpio energy, and the power is in admittance and being able to say what it is we do know and say what it is we don't know. Okay? Yeah. And there's the Knight of Cups, and then there's the Knight of Swords. And so I feel like we don't want to be threatened, and who would, okay? But when we are sensitive and we haven't healed the thing, everything will be a threat. And so we just like run away. We defend ourselves. We hide. It's like, I don't know how to react. And so I just go ghost, or I say nothing, or I like have a flurry of communication, and then I run away or something like this, or I just pull away, or I avoid, or I dismiss, or I get stuck, or I get frozen. And so we're really learning about emotional maturity, because the emotional maturity means when I'm emotionally mature, I'm able to have a conversation of what I know and what I don't know. And it comes from an open, honest place. But when I'm blocked emotionally, then it sounds like a defense, guarding. I gotta sort of be on the ready to pounce energy, and so I will just sort of avoid or block or have a flurry of arguments here, and then I'm in Three Swords and I feel left out and no one understands me, and that's the energy that keeps probably repeating in your cycle. And it's like, why do I keep repeating this in either the same types of jobs, same types of situations, or in a relationship? It just keeps cycling through. And it's like, because the ball's in your court to let go of this root problem. And the only way to let it go, like I said, it isn't a button, is to see it clearly for what it is going on within you. It's a mind activity that generates a feeling that's very intense, that's not real. And my belief in the realness of it is what creates this energy, and my loyalty to that story and what has happened to me. And so if I believe I am a me that it happened to, then I carry this. But knowing there is no I, for one, that is just an egoic construct, okay, that believes in separation, that there's an independent me and there's a world out there that threatened me, so I'm the victim. No, okay, but that's harder to do, to unpin that sense of I. But to take it from the angle of seeing what has happened, okay, because we can all do this. What has happened here is like the best of what could have happened at that moment, even if it hurt me. But my loyalty to healing, my loyalty to, because I do feel you're in a situation here which is very painful. And I don't think you want to sit here in a 5 pentacle and a 3 swords and a 9 of wands. It's exhausting. It's tiring. It's like, how long can I hold out here and endure this out in the cold, suffering pain? No, you don't have to endure. You don't have to clock watch. You don't have to sit here stuck. And so when your loyalty to getting out of this whole thing, okay, supersedes carrying on to the story of the victim thing, then we get movement. However, it doesn't break the cycle. Breaking of the cycle, because it's just, I just don't want to be in the cold. I just don't want this. It's like, okay, you don't want this, true. But once you're out and involved, you're just going to repeat another cycle here because your leg's still stuck here, meaning we still haven't resolved this and let it go fully. And the only way to do this is to acknowledge what has happened, that it's not real, for one, and my energy is tied to it, like it is a reality here, and to admit truths and to be able to talk about what is within my power and what is not within my power, and see what has happened from different perspective clearly, and not attach to the victim story, and be receptive and willing to be in the present moment of what is in front of you without injecting the hurts of the past. So if I'm engaged in this situation, I can only take this situation at face value. I can't be reactionary like this cat with my back up because it happened to me before. So now I'm preventative. And so as long as you're preventative, you're defensive. And as long as you're defensive, you'll always experience a 5 pentacle and be shut out. Always. It'll be a cycle you cannot break. Okay? So you're reading pile number 1. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Pile number 2. You guys picked the Shuffle Tarot Collection A. Let's take a look at the truth you're needing to hear right here, right now. Now, like I said, whether you're ready for this truth or not, I don't know. Okay, so if it doesn't register at all, either you're not prepared to hear it, or because it's out of your consciousness, or it's just not your reading. Okay, but if it is triggering, it could still be your truth or a truth here you're needing to hear. Okay, because if we're indifferent, that means it's just not our reading. We're just out of our consciousness. There's nothing here to fret about. Okay, so I did ask spirits to give us a little bit of an energy in regards to what you are experiencing, so you know whether this is your pile or not. Okay, so your situation, your energy, your circumstance should pull through here, of course, if it is your energy. Now, this could definitely be an energy of someone or something you're dealing with. But if it doesn't compute, doesn't sound like anyone or anything or your energy, then it's not your pile. Okay, so let's take a look. We have a leg up with 34, or the number 7. Have some Cancer energy pulling through. I'm also getting Earth from the polar bears. Okay, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And then we have Saturn in Aries. Okay, so Saturn is the ruling planet for Capricorn and Aquarius. And there's more bear energy. Bears are really standing out. So bears are territorial. I'm getting Aries. Yeah, Aries from the bear. Okay, masculine energy could be sort of territorial, maybe protective or guarded in some capacity. So one is new beginnings, potential opportunities. One is Mercury energy, so some Virgo and some Gemini. Here's the key. Keys can talk about answers, solutions. This says risk. Okay, and then we have despondence, and I do believe this is the third eye chakra. Despondence, okay. And then we have align. You're being asked to align with your current situation, even if it's not easy to do so. Trust that there is much to be learned by being here. Pushing against what is will only make things harder on you. Align, surrender, and trust. Interesting. All right. And then we have Aquarius with I know 23 or the number 5. So 5 is the rebuild, change, conflict, loss. It does sound like something very challenging here. Okay. Aquarius, I know. And then we have change your tune, Moonlight Serenade. And she's playing a flute, self-expression. Change your tune. Okie dokie. And then we have number 3, benefactor, grace and generosity. Aw, 2 little bunnies, or I don't know, look kind of like little gerbils in this little mushroom cup. And one has a little crown. Super cute. So the number 3 is about growth, relationships, initial success, communication, self-expression, which pull through this. I'm feeling self-expression from this. Okay, so grace and generosity. Okie dokie. A very Fool energy from this guy as well. So more Aquarius energy. Okay. Yeah, let's ask spirits. What is the truth that you're needing to hear right here, right now? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest. Get a pile. Number 2. Spirits, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message. The greatest and highest, get a pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing the reading. So Cancer, Taurus, Libra, Pisces, Aquarius, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, lots of signs, and Aries. Yeah. Pulling through. So we have the 8 of Wands. What is the truth that pile number 2 is needing to hear? The Hangman, Pisces energy. The 10 of Swords in reverse. Why is this 8 Wands here? The High Priestess, Pisces energy, 10 Cups in reverse. And finally, why is this Hangman here? And we have the Knight of Cups, and then why is this 10 of Swords in reverse? We have the 5 Swords. This is a shuffle tarot, okay? So the scenes are a little interesting. 8 Wands, this is the scene of the 8 Swords. The Hangman here, but this is the Maiden from the Strength card, I do believe. And she's in the Hangman position. Okay, and this 10 Swords is the scene of the 10 of Wands, and it is in reverse. And then this High Priestess is the Chariot. This 10 Cups is the scene of the 10 Pentacles in reverse. And then the Knight of Cups here. I think he's in the year of the Knight of Swords. Okay, all this defensive energy moving very quickly. And then we have the 5 Swords, which is the scene of the 5 Cups. Okay, and then we have the Hierophant, Taurus energy, with the angel from the Temperance card. And we have the Page of Pentacles under that in reverse with the Fool. So let me sit here with this energy and channel what your message is. I need a drink. All right. What's under Page of Pentacles in reverse? The King of Pentacles. Okay, pile number 2. Wow. Hopefully I do this justice, okay? This could be your energy of people you're dealing with, situation, circumstance, and then the truth that's about to be communicated here. this energy that I'm tapped into here, I don't know necessarily if it is your energy or not, okay? But it's like we know of a deeper truth that's more aligned. And the only thing that could get in the way of a deeper knowing is our own ego, okay? And I use ego, and people get very confused. And what that means? That means when I act in certain ways, it's to upkeep whatever mind story I have of myself, because I don't want it to be threatened. So I have an understanding of who I am, what I'm about, what's right for me, where I need to go, how I live my life. Those are fixed in stone. No one's going to change my way or my understanding. I've lived 50 years on this earth, and so I understand. I've been around the block. I'm not new to this game, you know? When we're so identified with knowing, and it's our truth, and we know it to be true because we experienced it, and it's solidified, it creates the pain and the suffering here. Because what Spirit is saying, nothing is set in stone, ever. And it's not because we don't get choices and preferences. Of course, we get choices and preferences. But what we need to do here is see beyond. See beyond, because there's a greater truth that's more aligned with your truth. But you need to connect to your authenticity. So we might really buy the story that I am this way. I believe this truth, saying this is authentic to me. It's like, no, it's not authentic to you. It's authentic to you identifying with that. So let's say, for example, if I really identify as being, I don't know, left-leaning, in my political view. It's like every decision I'm making has to be left-leaning, left-leaning, left-leaning. And then all of a sudden, let's say there's something that is right-leaning that's more aligned with my truth. But it's like, but I'm left-leaning, so I got to do all the things that the left do. It's like, what? There is no left, there's no right. There's just your truth and what's right for you. And the more we're sort of fixated and identified with that identity, with that version that we've built over time, that's like immovable. It's keeping us stuck. I think you have an understanding of how you have to be or who you are that's very fixed and solid. It's that causing your disappointment. It's causing the lack of harmony. Two things cannot be coming together, or you cannot create in this energy because you're impenetrable. Another cannot work with this energy. And I do feel like it's an understanding that you have, okay? And it's not allowing you to entertain the new. So for one, I feel like this is very risk adverse to moving in a different direction that might be foreign or go against what I know. Okay, what I know, but we don't know. It's going against the theory and the story that I've always hung on to at my own expense. At my own expense here. And so I feel like you feel like your security or your position, whatever it may be, is solid, understanding it. It's unmovable or unshakable, or that's where you pull your energy from. So it gives you a sense of security, solidity, solidness, but it's all an illusion because there is it's not the identity that's creating that security, and that it's giving your mind the appearance of some form of security, some form of no risks or low risk, It's your mind telling you this thing. And so we want to uphold that illusion. The idea I have of myself that makes me feel secure and safe and stable, and that's the idea I want to uphold. But it's like, the idea in your mind. So this is where we can become very threatened, because it's like everyone and their dog will have an idea and an opinion that could oppose ours. And it's equally as valid. And then this is where we can get, well, no, mine is, because, and then we try to bring the mind into it and all the 50 years of support and reasoning why left leaning is better than right leaning. Like, that's just an example. But it's like, just because we have reasons to back up why we are where we are, there's a bunch of reasons for the other camp. And neither of them are actually allowing for freedom and truth. They're just supporting a mind story of a fixation of a position that makes us feel like we're safe, that makes us feel like we're secure, that makes us feel like we're in control, or like something like this, at the expense of risking new opportunity or exploring something different here. And why do we have to experience something different? We don't. We could sit here all day long if we wanted to, for sure. But what this is saying to you, and there goes my email confirming, is that there is a potential opportunity here that could impact your future, or your success, or your stability in a 3D material way. And it actually would help you, not hinder you. And so you might feel a threat of this thing. You feel a threat of this thing, and now we're really like even clinging more, or believing our story even more, or doubling down in this fixed idea that I know the truth, or I know because it's my lived experience here. And it's like, well, there's so many different factors that we do not know in this universe that could actually be beneficial to us if we're open to it, or we could shut it out with a mindset. And I feel like we're trying to convince ourselves of some truth that is actually not true. And I feel like there's something more aligned to your truth. And instead of working with it, collaborating, or allowing it to support you, or you involved with supporting it, or coming together here to be stronger, that would mean admitting some form of opposite idea that we don't want to admit, that goes against what I thought was true for me. And so we could either fight for that truth and that mind story and be unhappy, or we could consider that there is other things that are more aligned with my authenticity and align myself with it by not being so fixed. So I feel like there's a situation that you're sort of, I don't know, what's it called? Thumbing your nose at it? What's it called? I don't know. You're seeing it as something that's like not for you. Despondence. It's like your energy is one right now that is feeling very much 4 cups. And as long as we're in a 4-cup energy, or this despondence, we're not seeing the truth of what could be manifested or supported by allowing something new to be explored, or allowing ourselves to entertain a new possibility. And this new possibility isn't threatening. That's the thing. But we might really, really feel it's threatening. And so we're hesitating based on a limitation of the mind, for sure. But then the 8 wands here is like, where can we have this breakthrough? The truth is, you can have a breakthrough the minute we understand that it is within our mind that's creating this stuckness, this limitation. And I feel like there's a sense of urgency as well with your situation, something about timing. Okay. And it could be that, like, the longer we sit here in this untruth, because it really is, it's just a mind story, and it could be our truth, but it's untrue to the reality, and it's also untrue to your authentic happiness or security or stability. And Spirit's saying, I want you to have success. I want you to have victory. I want you to heal or resolve or integrate to that shadowy understanding you have that isn't true, by the way, in order for you to have movement and success. And your intuition already knows the truth. You can already connect to this thing, because I do feel like this thing feels more true to you, but we're resisting or fighting because the story I always told myself, and that's the thing that I stuck to, and that's created my sense of security or stability, or something that I could control, or something that I could count on in some way. But it's like, it's just a mind story. It's a limitation. And now we have a potential for absolute happiness in the 3D world. Emotional happiness, long-term happiness, that's at risk here. As long as I stay put and tell myself, la, 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 That goes against my 50 years of understanding. And I feel threatened by this opportunity to explore something new because it's out of my comfort zone, or I don't know exactly, like I got to leave my understandings behind or some part of me that I feel really attached to. But it's like, but it's not you. You're just attached to it. And so you're telling yourself that you're leaving something behind, but really you're not. You're exploring a different aspect of yourself, the one that you might have shut out. And this is the answer and the truth, or the key to success, or the key to exploring. Because I feel like if you maintain this energy, very fixed energy, I feel there's a missed opportunity. I feel there would be a one-sided sort of cold energy that you'd experience. And I don't know, like a missed opportunity, a spilled opportunity, an inability to seek the support that you would need, or the collaboration that could give strength and security here. And I feel is very pure. I feel is very much in line with love, okay, with this grace and generosity. It's like a connectedness here, even with the mushrooms. It's something very connected and very truthful, and it speaks to your soul in some way here, whatever this is. But it's like the mind and the understanding is battling what the soul knows to be true. And until I see it from a greater perspective, until I rise above my mind and my understanding and how I've done it for 50 years, or my identity with it, or as long as I identify my security being a part of it, or my stability being a part of that, as long as I keep that understanding and that solidity in place, I cannot rise above and make change and be flexible here. And so maybe you're in a position right now, you're reflecting, you're reviewing, you're not sure. It's like, how do I see this differently? And maybe you're really holding yourself back, okay, with this, the maiden from the strength card. And it's like the courage to challenge your own thoughts, the courage to question your own limitations, the courage to see things differently. And I feel like with this, the Knight of Cups, okay, which is how we express ourselves, how we go after what connects to us in our soul. Like I said, there's something here you totally feel in your soul. But this is represented by the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is sort of very, he comes in threatening, because he has his defenses. He's on the offense. He's like cutting through, trying to prove us something. And so I feel like maybe you're trying to prove your point, that it's like true to you and it's solid to you. And it's like, instead of driving with a trying to convince why, okay, maybe yourself or a situation or someone else. I don't know how you're engaged here, but it is how we're engaged externally, how we take action externally. And I feel like it's asking you to change your position, to see things from a different perspective, to challenge your own thoughts and limitations here when it comes to either how you're connecting to it emotionally, or how you're expressing it emotionally, or the communication style that you're having, how you are showing your communication, or how you're showing your involvement with something here has to be seen through or understood. Okay, because I do feel like you could put the pain down, and the burden that you carry of the understanding that you have, the longer you hold that understanding, the more at risk you are for pain and suffering. And I do feel with the urgency here, like I was saying with the 8 wands, it's only a matter of time before these wands sort of burn down. I think you're going to come to this conclusion anyway. And I think there's some stalling here. It's like, if I don't see it, maybe it will go away, or I'll just not have to act right now, And so we're trying to save like a penny to be rich with a penny. Meanwhile, we're like, I don't know what the saying is, but it's like, we know that these wands are going to burn down. It's going to be time where we are going to be having to move anyway, where the truth comes out. And I think we're trying to avoid the truth here. I don't know why, but again, well, I do know why. It's like, because it threatens my beliefs. It threatens my security. It threatens mine. It doesn't threaten. It's not threatening any of that stuff. It's saying you're stagnant. You're stuck. You're probably very cold too in your position here. And it's saying there's a greater truth that you're being called to see about yourself and understand about yourself that it heats you up in a different way. Maybe we think we're like, can treat something like it's robotic or like it doesn't matter. And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be this sort of engagement. But I feel there is this, like, this is in the future position, okay? And 10 swords, we can't come back from a 10 swords. That means we hit rock bottom. It's over. Things that as we knew it is over. Very painful with the 10 swords. Okay. But the 10 wands is the burden. I think the burden here is like in accepting an ending or carrying an ending of sorts, or carrying the understanding that I can anticipate an ending, but that's a burden. It's like, why do we got to carry this understanding? That could be the limiting thought. It's just going to end, or it's going to hurt me, or it's going to be very painful here. And so I'll carry the understanding of an ending that's going to threaten my security. It's like, are you sure? Is this just an assumption? It's like, I'm going to mourn, and I'm trying to prevent the mourning, the suffering. I'm trying to prevent what I will experience. And as long as you carry that understanding the whole time, because that is the burden, carrying this understanding, that I got to prevent it, and that's what's going to happen. And I know, I'm going to be left staring at the loss of it, and I'm going to have to deal with the end of something, and it's going to be painful, and I'm going to be the bad guy, or I'm going to be looking at something here, and I want to not cross this bridge or experience this thing. Like I know. And it's like, no, you don't know. You really don't know. You think you know. And this is just coming from some fixed position, wanting security, maybe wanting control, maybe wanting to be right about how you've always understood something to be, which isn't right. You're not seeing it clearly. And you're needing to rise above this. And I feel like you are either holding yourself back, telling yourself something, trying to prevent, and you're engaged in it in a way here that isn't representative of the truth, but your truth. And so we're delaying our happiness. We're preventing experiencing a potential of an experience here, which is very promising, very supportive, very, very beautiful, And nobody in their right mind would turn down a beautiful opportunity unless they think a beautiful opportunity is a threat to some idea. It threatens some idea of me. And the truth of the matter is, it's not threatening an idea of you. You're threatening your own idea of self, because you identify as that idea being a truth, a be all end all, like you know. And it's like, no, it's actually not true. And we don't like to hear that. But it's like, this is what we need to see. That's the truth we need to see, that it's not true. And we identify with it as being a truth because it gave us a feeling of security or stability or control or some form of an identity. And then we get frozen in time like that, missing out, not experiencing, singing the same song, and it's misaligned with the authenticity. It's not connected to the heart space. We feel threatened by anything that challenges it. We're very fixed in that position. We're territorial about it. I want to hold on to these beliefs and anything that threatens it. And so therefore I will refuse it, or I don't see it, or I don't see the truth for what it is, or the opportunity for what it is. I turn it down. I thumb my nose at it, or what's it called? Bite my nose at it, thumb my nose. I don't know, but I feel like this opportunity is aligned to your truth, and your intuition knows. The heart doesn't lie, but it's in battle with the mind, and it feels very threatened here. And so you're anticipating and you're preventing some idea that is just in your mind. It's limiting how you engage right now, because you're like, I don't want to experience backstab or hurts or threats or endings or pains, and I'll be the one hurt, I'll be the one backstabbed, I'll be the one. And so I might as well You know, it's like the 5-sword energy is like winning at all costs. And it's like, to me, winning is not getting hurt. To me, winning is preventing endings. To me, winning is, and it's like, what? Like, but you're just carrying the pain and the suffering here because it's putting you further apart. It's making you cold. It's not letting you experience warmth and experience happiness and potential. It's the reason you are experiencing 3 swords right now. It's like, I'll experience 3 swords right now forever, so I don't experience 3 swords in the future. Like, what logic is that? And I think that's the thing. It's like, eventually the time is out because it's like, wow, I'm still carrying these 3 swords. I'm still carrying this pain, the pain that I was trying to prevent. It's like, eventually it's going to click. Like, I'm going to see the light. And who knows by that point, when these wands run down, that this opportunity isn't a spilt, missed opportunity here. I feel like Spirit has one more message for you. But yeah, look, 3 Pentacle. And what's that? That's this leg up. That's in the 3D world, working with other. Okay, we got to show up to work with other to create the 3rd thing. And the 3rd thing is what? Happiness, family, union, harmony, success, happiness. We have to show up and be one side of this thing for it to be successful. We have to be in balance here. Okay, but if we anticipate and we're sort of looking out for ourselves and we're sabotaging or threatened, it's like we're not seeing a great truth. We're holding ourselves back from some truth. We're not allowing ourselves to experience because we feel it's too risky, or it's going to risk my security or my understanding. My hierophant, the way I see myself or my position, is threatened. So, but that is the answer. The answer to working together, the answer for creation. The answer is to work together. The answer is to change one's tune and one's own position here, to have a new beginning. Okay, this Fool energy keeps coming through, and it's like we can't come with the baggage and the understanding of the past. It's coming in to experience what we experience without like anticipating it's just going to end in shit. Okay, because I do feel there's harmony here. It feels very nice. So let's see. Spirits, final message. What am I missing here? What is the message then to pile number 2, or what do they need to know? Is there something that they can do, or that they need to know, or that I missed, or any questions that they do have about this? Further clarity, answer any questions they may have, anything I missed. Okay, 5 of Cups in reverse, looking at spilt milk, missing out on an opportunity, feeling bad, sad, regret, remorse. Okay, now it is in reverse. 6 of Pentacles in the scene of the 6 Cups. Page of Wands. Why is this 5 of Cups here in reverse? The Strength card. Leo energy. Why is this 6 of Pentacles here? This is the 8 Swords in the scene of the 8 Wands. Okay, and then why is this Page of Wands here? There's the Hierophant again. Taurus energy. And then the King of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. And he's in the King of Cups scene here with all the water. Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, I'm getting cold now. So, what is your message here? Let me sit here with this King of Wands, King of Cups energy. So, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Leo, Taurus. Okay, pile number 2. I do feel you have an ego here about you, you know, and it's because you want to believe in what you believe. And there's nothing wrong with believing in what we believe, you know, but it's just a mind story. And the more fixed we are with our mind stories and our identities, it actually makes us weaker. Why? Because anyone can just crack us, you know? It's like anyone could just say the wrong thing and it threatens our stability. And it's like no one should be able to say anything that would threaten your reality. If you're that threatened by people's actions and words because your reality becomes threatened, then that means we're actually weak and fragile. So we don't need to be attached. If we know our truth, nobody can do or say anything that threatens it ever. It's like, this is my truth. There you go. There's no external circumstances that are going to be able to threaten it. Okay? Unless we know that it's not our truth. Then we're threatened. Then we got to prove ourselves. I feel like you're trying to prove to yourself a story or a theory here, and it goes against what you're feeling. Because I feel like you have some feels over here. A truth that you know inside with that high priestess energy, your intuition, your feels, okay? And you're trying to cover it up with the level of doingness, okay, that is more in line with your convictions here. And it's like, this is what I'm doing right now, is like trying to align my vision of understanding with that truth, which is misaligned, by the way. And Spirit is saying to change your tune would be to acknowledge what you're truly feeling as a truth, because your feelings are there for a reason. It's a guidance system telling you a great truth, regardless if you want to accept it or see it or threatened by it. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, because there's an opportunity here that I feel you're battling, holding yourself back from, conflicted with. Okay, and it's like the ego self that wants to believe in something I've always believed in, and then how I feel over here, and then missing out on some opportunity and feeling left out in the cold. And so this is dictating where I invest my energy. And it's like the more exposed, innocent I feel in my feels, the more threatened I am about this thing, because it opposes my understanding or my idea. And then the more I'm cautious about how to engage or invest or give or create balance and harmony. And so I withhold, I don't give to a situation, or I'm hesitant about it, or I'm conflicted about it, and I stay stuck here rather than allowing there to be movement. And so the Eight of Swords, like I said, with that 8 Wands energy, she was all trapped. That's 8 swords, but these 8 swords are moving. So this is giving the 8 Wands energy, because in the 8 Wands, the movement is the breakthrough. Here, the breakthrough is in expressing one's truth, moving in truth, moving in clarity. But the mind is saying one thing, and the heart is saying another. And so we can't move here because we're wrestling. And as long as we're wrestling two sort of parts of ourself, my emotions, which I'll pretend aren't there because I have the blindfold or the limitation, or I don't want to see it or agree with it because I've never connected to it. And then the other truth that I'm trying to uphold, which is more prevalent to me, even though they're both equally weighted. Okay, actually, no, the feelings are really trying to tell you your high priestess, which is actually your truth underneath it all. But both are online. You feel and you think. Okay, you feel and you think. They're both online here, and we're trying to support the one that we're in favor of, which I feel is the same old one here that doesn't threaten anything, at the expense of a greater truth. And so they're battling each other, but it's misaligned. And Spirit is saying there's actually something that is aligned. It is a greater truth, but you're needing to admit something to yourself. And then you'll have the ability to move forward with truth and clarity and invest in a situation here that I think speaks very closely to you. You can explore this thing. But I think first you need to explore your own understanding of why you're frozen stuck or solid stuck or in this rock hard situation about who you think you are and why you got to stay there and why it has to be the way it is, which isn't giving you freedom. So which one's more free? This Page of Wands, who can explore, who can risk, who can engage freely, look wherever he wants, enjoy his whatever he experiences in his feels, his passion, or the stuck Hierophant, which is a rock and can't move, because this is how I've always thought my freedom or my understanding or my independence or my whatever, like I know, but now I'm stuck and I'm frozen and I'm not free. And it's creating the opposite, because I think most people want to be free to explore their passions, explore their hearts, explore their soul, their vision, their confidence. You know, it's like your confidence to run with a vision, to create something here long-standing. Is it in line with your heart? Or are you running with, like I say, some sort of frozen understanding here? because this is creating the conflict, and this is creating you saying where I can invest and where I can't, or holding myself back from investing in places which could really support you. It could really support you, you know? It could really allow you to break free or move free or be honest or have honest communication or free exploration or something here, which is liberating. And I don't know if you feel like if you did this, it's like, then I'd be stuck to that agreement or stuck to that belief or stuck to that story. And it's like, you're not stuck to anything. You're free in the present moment to choose what's aligned with your truth in that moment. And in that moment, there is no need to have baggage. There's no need to have stories. There's no need to come with misconceptions. There's just engaged in the present moment. What does my heart say to me right here, right now? Because I feel we're preventing disappointments and we don't want to be looking at situations from a lost perspective. And that's what we're holding ourselves back from. Meanwhile, we're experiencing the loss by not wanting the loss. So I don't know, you know, it seems kind of counterproductive. This is it. I don't know how else to break it down, although I do feel I'm missing more, but whatever. I don't know how to give you more. All I know how to read what I see here. Yeah, the sun. And so look at the Emperor. Okay, the sun, Leo energy. The Emperor is Aries energy. Oops, I thought we had Aries. You might be tied to, Aries. Sorry. You might be tied to pile 1 as well. There was strong Aries there if you were drawn. And this could be a message for you because I felt a wave of pile 1 here. I feel like you take pride, you know, in your ability to, I don't know, make decisions that are in line with your confidence or your capability of knowing yourself. And it's like, I want to make, I don't know, like you don't want anyone controlling you, or you want to be able to, and who would want any control? But it's like right now, your situation of how you're handling it is controlling your freedom. It is limiting you. It's not allowing you the freedom. You're actually more restricted and more held back here. And we're trying to fight it, you know? We're fighting it so much so we could gain control. It's like, well, who's winning? You're not in control right now. The more you battle this thing, the less control you have because it's controlling you. And so very strong masculine energy coming through here, you know, because we want our independence. We want to be able to feel the freedom or the ability to control certain things. And it's like, the clear truth cannot be threatened. And the clear truth is the honest truth. And we could pretend, ignore, deny what that truth looks like because it contradicts our story, or it makes us feel like we then won't have control, but that's just an illusion. The great truth is the great truth. It doesn't restrict in any way. It's liberating. The truth creates the opposite. The truth won't limit you. The truth won't restrict you. The truth won't hold you stuck. The truth will free you. The truth will liberate you. The truth will make you feel youthful, young. Then you'll be able to really have some form of a control, but control is just an illusion. But until then, your circumstance is controlling you because I feel you're fighting it, you're resisting it, you're going against it, you're trying to do something here, and you're not happy about it. It feels very cold, you know? It's like, okay, like Dr. Phil says, you want to be happy and miserable and miserable. Do you want to be happy and right, or miserable and right, or happy and wrong, you know, wrong mentally? It's up to you. All right. But I do feel like there's a mind story here that you're trying to crack through. And there's a great truth that's trying to be seen and acted upon that's going to take you stepping into your power. Power to say, hey, here's the truth of what's going on within me, you know, which means it's counter against what maybe your position here. But that is what the vision is here to create movement. That is what this King of Wands can act upon because it's more aligned with how he feels. Otherwise, he's just pretending. He's a phony. All right, pile number 2. This is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Pile number 3, you guys picked the Phantom Wise Tarot, and we're looking at a truth you're needing to hear right here, right now. I do suggest you go listen to the intro before you listen to this reading. Okay, whether you're prepared to hear this truth, ready to hear this truth, I don't know. And so if it doesn't make sense, it's not in your level of consciousness, then I'd say you're not ready. Or it's just not your pile because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, but if you're feeling triggered, then it could still be a truth. You're just resisting or not getting or understanding, and it's creating some form of tension. Because if we're indifferent, it's not our message, it's not our pile. Okay, but this could be a truth that you already know. And it's just confirming something here that maybe you're wanting confirmation. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what we're going to see, but we're asking for the truth you're needing to hear right here, right now. So let's take a look. And we have the chop wood, number 42, or the number 6. So we have some Gemini and some Capricorn energy. Chop wood. Okay, and then we have loss. And we have Saturn in Pisces with the number 12. Or the number 3. So Taurus, Libra, Pisces energy coming through. And with the Saturn, that is Saturn, right? Yes, we have some more Capricorn and some Aquarius, which I was getting from this 6, this Capricorn energy. Also Scorpio from this Crow. So lots of signs coming through. Loss. Yeah, every Scorpio. Okay, and then we have grief and the heart chakra here. And look at the doggy. So dogs can represent friendship, loyalty. Grief certainly could be a 5 cups energy. A mourning of sorts. A heartbreak with the heart here. Okay, so it could even be a 3 swords. And then we have allow. It says, you're being asked to open your energy field and take down your walls of protection in order to allow goodness into your life. Sometimes, without even realizing it, we block ourselves from the flow of life. It's safe to open yourself back up. That was a strong message in pile 1. And then we have Jupiter with abundance, number 7. So some Cancer energy. Chariot Tower energy with this 7, but Jupiter's the ruling planet for Sagittarius and Pisces. Jupiter abundance. And then we have the Yang moon with strength. So masculine energy, a Leo energy, some Aries as well. And then we have Horseman, Herald of Change, number 30 or the number 3, right by this 3. So 33 is a master number. Reproduction, creativity, humor, price consciousness, joy, harmony. 3s are all about growth, relationships, communication, self-expression, groups, fun. Okay, let's pull the tarot and see. Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3 regarding the truth they are needing to hear right here, right now. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing a reading. What is the honest truth pile 3 is needing to hear right here, right now? What is the honest truth for pile 3, spirits? Oh, look, we had the Fool. It was in reverse here. Interesting. Aquarius energy. Another card. Where are these coming from? Temperance in reverse. Sagittarius energy. And we have the 5 of Wands in reverse and the 10 of Cups in reverse. Why is this Fool here in reverse? What is going on here? I must have put these cards in backwards, but I do feel they're... Is there one here? Where did it go? I swear I thought I saw one. All right, well. There it is. The 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Why is Temperance here? We might do another round of tarot. Why is Temperance here? In regards to the honest truth, pile number 3 is needing to understand. Spirit saying to leave it on that side. Okay. All right, we'll leave it. So 7 of Wands and then the 4 of Cups under that. All righty. Let's just see what we see. Okay, the 5 of Cups in reverse. Remember we said 5 Cups energy here, but it is in reverse. 5 of Cups in reverse, 4 of Cups, 7 of Wands. The Fool in reverse, clarified by the 7 Pentacles in reverse. The Temperance, clarified by the 2 Swords. The 5 of Wands in reverse, clarified by the 10 of Cups in reverse, and then the 2 of Cups under that. And then these 2 cards, which went flying, we have the 2 of Wands in reverse and the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. My goodness. 5, 5, 5 with the 4 of Cups energy. Cray, cray. And then 2 7. So 77 is a master number. Trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom, trust of life, and trust of self. I just saw an orb over here. Very strong one. Okay. Focus, Linda. Give me a second here, okay? Because this is going to take me a bit, and I feel a little scattered here. The 8 of Pentacles under that. Just keep peeling that back. Okay. Just give me a second here. All right. I'm kind of getting an energy here. Pile number 3 of almost like there's nothing you can do about it sort of energy. And that through time it heals. It's essentially what's coming through here. And so maybe the truth of your situation is like, maybe you thought I could do something. Maybe you thought I could be more healed or further along, or I don't know. It's like Spirit is coming through saying, sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down, and we might not like this idea, okay? But there will be change. And so if you're experiencing loss, know that change is coming, and eventually change happens, which is the opposite of what you're experiencing. We have loss, we have grief, we have a 5 Pentacle, we have a 5 of Cups, and we have a 5 of Wands, okay? And so that's a lot of loss. It's a lot of shift, and then it's left you feeling despondent with this 4 of Cups. And it might have left you feeling defensive, or like, what do I got to do? Or well, where do I got to then point my nose? Or how do I now move forward without, like, I don't know, like, still I need to protect myself, but it's like, do I got to fight for happiness here? Because I think you want harmony. For some of you guys, this definitely could be in a relationship. So you experience heartbreak or a loss or a breakup or a disappointment at some point. And it's like, you want harmony. Okay, who doesn't? And it's like, why can I not experience harmony? Or I had a vision of a harmonious relationship, and now I'm giving up on this idea or this understanding. And Spirit is saying, if we experience something that was painful, that doesn't mean that every single thing is painful now, you know? And we could be in that energy, and we're allowed to be, because when we're broken up or when we experience loss, it's like we don't just get back on the horse again and say, oh, well, I guess this is just me being silly, and I just, you know, but eventually it's like the mojo comes back, the desire to be back out and about here. And I feel like you're processing the loss of something here. And maybe you're battling yourself saying, why can't I just get back on the horse? Or why is it that I just can't move forward beyond this? Why is it that I still feel defensive or hurt or whatever? And Spirit's saying, because you're healing, and you are healing. And you'll be in a position here where it won't feel right to move forward, or you'll feel kind of maybe stuck in a need to heal, need to balance, need to regulate before you can move forward and experience 2 Cups. But 2 Cups is coming for you in the future, and you can experience this once you mourn whatever you're mourning here. And you could have missed out on something here, like saying, well, and I don't know whether there was a relationship or an opportunity that's no longer is present. So it could just be, I'm no longer interested in it, or it wasn't what I thought it was, or it disappeared, or it's whatever. It's like, it's not here. And now I can't explore it. Or you might have just thrown in the towel saying, oh, it was too difficult, or it made me feel abandoned, or I don't know. It feels like you can't give to a situation. Maybe it was a situation that wasn't balanced. So it's like I just threw in the towel, or I wasn't sure that it'd be worth my time or my energy because it was making me feel not good. Or I just didn't even explore it for some of you guys because I was still mourning something. And so maybe you are balanced, and maybe the situation wasn't something to invest in. And that's why Spirit's saying it didn't present itself. Because for you, you're deserving of a 2 cups, balanced, healed, equal reciprocity connection, giving and receiving, not something stuck. And you might be like saying, well, I'm disappointed in the universe, or I'm disappointed in this letdown or this experience, or I'm disappointed that it didn't amount to anything, or I'm disappointed in the results of not having it, or it going the way that it did. And it's like, I have this love that I want to invest, or energy that I want to create, or this harmony that I want to partake in here. And it's like, do I fight for something? Or how can I fight for something here? And Spirit is saying, process changes because there will always be ups and downs, things that come in and things that go out, abundance and then loss. Okay, but this doesn't mean that there is scarcity in the universe, because if I say, okay, point to loss, how do you point to it? It's not a thing, point to it, point to lack. It's like, where is the lack? Like, you can't point to it. It's not a thing. We can experience what appears to be a blow or a letdown or an imbalance, but there is no entity of loss and lack. There's just always abundance. And when we're ready and healed to align with abundance, then abundance comes in and change comes in. And this is the law of attraction. When the vibration is high and in line with abundance, abundance always presents itself, because abundance is always present. But this doesn't mean that we don't experience what appears to be a loss or a disappointment or a lack or an imbalance or a disconnect or a discouraging thing here. Yes, we experience that. That's not really a lack of anything. That's an experience. And so Spirit is saying, you have strength about you. And this strength about you is to weather the storm. And the sooner you're able to sort of lean into what you need to, not try to rush it, not try to be anywhere else other than processing whatever you need to process, the sooner you'll heal, the higher vibration you'll be, the closer you are to abundance. And then we can allow the love to come in, the flow to come in, the relationship to come in, or the harmony to come in, the right partnership, the right job, the right vibration, whatever matches your energy, it could come in here. So we don't need to say, well, maybe my idea of ultimate happiness is just a fantasy. It's never going to happen. And so I'm just going to let it go, That would be an energy of a 4 cups. I'm disappointed by the universe. Therefore, I don't believe in magic. I don't believe in abundance. I don't believe in happy ever afters. I don't believe in, it's like, okay, you could choose to not believe. That would be choosing lack and abundance story, which you could cling on to forever for sure. No one's going to tell you you don't have to. But no, on the other side of the flip coin, there is abundance. And the sooner you believe in the abundance, the sooner you can connect to the abundance, the sooner it can come in, because you're allowing it to come in. You're not resisting it, saying, I don't believe in you, therefore you don't exist. If I don't believe that it exists, it's not going to come around. I can't match that timeline. I stay stuck and stagnant in a belief that it's all disappointing, it's all shit, it's all unworth my time or my effort or my energy. And so we just got to see, are we defensive? Are we allowing energy to come in? Are we allowing abundance to come in? Or are we guarding ourselves because we had an experience that was so disappointing, and now it's like, I just got to defend myself, It's like all we're doing is defending the narrative of loss, protecting. I want to keep the story of loss real. I want to keep it going. So I'm going to keep blocking everything that looks like abundance out. That's what we're doing here. But we're doing the opposite because I think you want abundance. Of course, you want harmony, you want love, you want something that is a happily ever after. But in your energy, it's like, I'm just going to block it out by not believing in it and by saying that it's hurt me and it's done all these things. And it's like, if it did hurt you, which I'm not saying to tell you it didn't, but the sooner we say it hurt me, but it wasn't out of a loss or a lack, it was an experience that happened as a result of reality. Because remember the wheel, sometimes we experience things on the up, sometimes on the down. For whatever the reason was, it didn't pan out here. That doesn't change abundance. That doesn't change your beauty. That doesn't change your healing path. That doesn't change your stability. Now, we could feel rocked by it and we could believe, oh, it took a piece of me or it rocked my stability. And as long as we believe that, we live it. But it's like, no, it didn't take nothing from you. You're still whole. You're still balanced. You're still complete. The sooner you feel whole and complete and see the truth, the sooner you are in line with abundance. But we got to let go of whatever that belief story is here. Okay. And so the best way to do it with this chop wood, carry water, it's like to know that the reality is happening around us all the time. And the only way we could get pulled into lower vibration is when we keep those distorted views and understandings of loss, disappointment, lack around. That's what we need to clean up here with this broom. Sweep out that energy. Because reality, day in, day out, Spirit is saying one thing's for sure, abundance is always there. Always. The universe is ever abundant. It's always around. This doesn't mean we're always aligned with it. Our timeline is always vibing to it or that we always see it. But it's there, regardless if we see it or we don't see it. It's always there. And we choose, do we want to experience loss because something hurt me or something feels like it took a part of me? Okay, it might feel this way for sure, but did it really? No, it didn't really do that. And so the sooner we get vibing on a different vibration, the sooner this shifts, the sooner we allow things to come in, the sooner we feel we can let go of something here. Because I feel like maybe you are really loyal to someone or something that disappointed you. And it's like, I don't want to feel left out in the cold or like there's something here that I'm not able to pursue. Can't give to it. I don't know if it left you or you left it or it wasn't producing. It seemed like it wasn't fair or abundant or moving or healed or I don't know, And Spirit is saying, well, there's 2 cups here for you, regardless of what you experienced. You could experience a whole bunch of things. It doesn't impact what is meant for you because what's meant for you will always come for you. You just got to be in the vibration of it. And so it's confirming your vibration is the thing that you are able to control. This doesn't mean through force. This means through awareness, observation, acceptance, and understanding. I understand if I hurt right now, let it hurt, So we can let the hurts flow, but don't let it impact your beliefs or your, your 7 wands, like what you're saying and what you're doing in your actions. So let's see, Spirit. I feel I'm missing something. Pile 3. What do they need to know then about the truth here? What's with the 2 cups? What's with this abundance and this herald of change? Because there's no doubt you experience loss, And I think you're ready for change here. But just as Spirit is saying, are you defending your position here from a guarded place of not wanting to get hurt? And who would? Like who'd say, come on, I'm hurt. I welcome you. Okay, but if the energy is more doing this, we're blocking everything, including abundance. And when we know that when there is an experience of something that is unpleasant, but we know the truth, that it doesn't take away from us, that it's not really a loss, that there really isn't scarcity, that there really isn't a separation, then the loss is less. We're not attached to it. It doesn't rock our foundation. Spirit, so what does pile 3 need to know then about this? The truth. So we have the King of Pentacles, and he is in the sideways position all the way over here. The Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. What are they needing to know about their truth? The truth that is being communicated and revealed right here, right now to pile number 3. Yeah, 3 swords. I hurt, separation, loss, lack, breakup, Okay, this is being separated from the ones we love. Someone's words, actions, intentions created pain and suffering. And we're humans, so of course we have feelings. Okay, but our feelings are tied to our thoughts. And so the only thing that we are able to observe are our own thoughts. The feelings, we could do nothing about it. We don't need to resist or fight it and say, I'm happy. Of course, we can't convince ourselves to be happy when we're not. But the feelings are always charged by the thoughts. So we know, where's my thought right now? Am I feeding this thought? Do I believe this thought? How true is this thought? It might feel very true. I might really believe in its weight, but is it true? Is it based on abundance or is it based on lack? If it's based on lack, if it's based on separation, if it's based on that, then we know it's not true. But it feels true. In my mind, it's true. It's like, yeah, that's the issue. Your mind is telling you it's true, but it's not. There is no loss. There is no lack. There is no separation. That's an illusion. And we create this when we create an I, a sense of me separate from the world. Someone hurt me. I'm the victim. I got lost out. I got the short end of the deal. It's like, no, there is no you. That's an illusion of separation. You had an experience of something that went in a certain way. Okay, and it's not a gaslight because you are able to feel this sadness, but this is what it's telling you. It's like, as long as you believe that you're separate, you're going to feel the suffering. And so this experience was to make you see that you're not separate, that there is no loss, that there is no lack. Okay, but allow yourself to feel what you feel, but you could take note of your own stories, of your own mind, of what you're telling yourself and what you're feeding. Are they true? Are they real beliefs that don't need to be there, that I'm hanging on to, that is making it worse? I believe my own thought. Okay, well then, I start to question it. Why do I have this thought? Is it true? Is it a thought based in an absence of truth? It's seeing scarcity. It's seeing loss. It's seeing something the way it's not real. Now I'm believing in a fantasy, and it's just creating more suffering. So I get to choose. Do I want to believe in a fantasy or do I want to believe in reality? Because reality is there's always abundance. Reality, there is no separation. That's just an illusion. It doesn't exist. Okay, but your pain is real. Your pain is happening here. I totally believe you, and you believe in your thoughts. Okay, the Knight of Swords in reverse. The Three of Wands in reverse. The King of Cups. Now remember, we have the King of Pentacles over here sideways. So the King of Cups is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. And the Six of Cups, Soul Bond. And the King of Wands in reverse. The only king we're missing here is the King of Swords, which is all this thought stuff that I was talking about here. Give me a minute to just really tap into this energy. The Page of Wands. Under Page of Wands, we have the Five of Cups showing itself again in the reverse. My goodness. And then the Ace of Wands under that. Okay, just give me a bit. Okay. Pile number 3. You experienced something that didn't feel good and you're still feeling the effects of that thing. You're allowed. You're allowed to feel however you feel, okay? But the sooner you come to the understanding that there's a greater truth that you're not understanding right now, and it's how your thoughts and your stories and how you believe certain things is really creating the suffering that you're experiencing here. I feel like you want to just break out of that, you know? Who would want to feel sad? Who'd want to feel grieving and disappointment and loss? You want to break out of this thing. And Spirit is saying the only way for you to come out of that energy would be to allow yourself to break out of it by acknowledging those thoughts and not doing the energy that I think you're accustomed to here, which is I don't know, this retreating, this hiding away, this seeing something as not moving forward, or something being stuck, or being incapable of something here. It's like, I'm incapable of building something here, or incapable of creating something that could stand the test of time, that I could commit to, that could keep going here. That my feelings are separate from the reality of what I could create. It's like I feel one way, but the reality is another altogether here. And I feel there's something, someone, it does feel like a relationship read with the 2 of Cups and the 6 of Cups here, that you feel very deeply about here. And it would require you to allow your innocence to come online with how you feel here, and allow this thing to be your North Star, or your freedom to explore, to get out of the pain. Because I feel like here we have like a lack of confidence, a lack of vision, a lack of build. Okay, now this feels different than the first row of energy I did. So I don't know if this is like who you're dealing with or what's going on here, but we're seeing 3 kings. And it's like the King of Swords is nowhere to be found. And I do feel like it's spirit saying, like, do not let your own mind, your stories, your fears, and your understandings, because they're just beliefs, get in the way of your feels and how you take action. Because the more you're in your King of Swords, I don't know if I said King of Wands, King of Swords energy in your mind, telling yourself what you're telling yourself, the more it impedes your confidence to explore, to get out of loneliness or grieving, or to allow yourself to move forward. Because there seems to be, I can't move forward, or I won't let things progress, or I will run away and hide, or I will avoid and ghost, or I won't move forward. And it's like the 3D world, I can't show up here or create here, or it can't be something solid here, but my feelings will just sit here in a pot, brewing, stewing, memorizing about what I used to, or remembering what I used to experience. It's like I rewind the memories of my heart here, and then I create this feeling of separation and loneliness, and then we're just stuck with the memory of the past. Your feelings are true. You feel connected to something here. You don't have to just live in a memory. It's like, well, how do I get the confidence then to make the movement here? Well, 1, acknowledge your own thoughts. Are you stuck in a memory? Acknowledge your feels. Don't get stuck in your own thoughts about that. What does that mean? How do I got to understand my feelings? It's like, no, it has nothing to do with thought. There is no thought process here. There's just an honest truth about feelings, and a confidence to move forward and take action upon one's feelings. That's all we need to do. But when the King of Swords gets involved, he starts to analyze everything. What does that mean? What will it mean if it does this? And what will it mean if I miss out? And what does it mean? It's like, no, this Page of Wands doesn't have all of the answers. He doesn't have a whole list of all of these things he needs to know before he goes and explores. This Page of Wands is completely innocent, allows himself to explore and find out what's there. But whoa, that's too scary to find out what's there, because what's there, I might be hurt. What's there, I might get hurt in a very painful way that I can't overcome. Then it's like, yeah, that's like, I don't want to cross the street because I don't want to get hit by a car. So I'll never go to the bank. I'll never go to the store. It's like, well, that's not going to help your situation. Relationship and experiencing whatever you experience will happen. Does this mean that the hurts aren't going to happen? Yes. Does this mean that the happinesses won't happen? Yes. There's highs and there's lows, and you're experiencing everything in between. But the thing that you're being told here, that's the truth, is that when you're tied and identified as the thought itself, when it goes down, you're going down heavy, and you don't need to. You're not a part of that loss. There is no loss. There's just experiencing the ups and the downs. It doesn't have anything to do with your innate value or your self-worth or anything. If something doesn't work out, it has nothing to do with you. It's a set of circumstances. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But it's like, I just prevent myself from experiencing anything at all because I don't want to experience disappointment at the risk of exploring something here, And maybe we just feel like I can't be vulnerable or learn, or it's like, I don't want to learn. I want to know. And because the King of Swords is not around, it's like, I don't know. I don't understand. So I'm not confident. I don't have the vision. Now I stay here just looking at the woulda, coulda, shouldas, disappointed, feeling sad, not going after it. And then we don't commit. We don't create anything here on the 3D except for sadness and stagnation and 2 swords and a reverse 3 swords. So final message, because I do feel like I'm reading 2 different people here, but let's see. Spirit. Oy vey. What does pile 3 need to know? Can we close this out? Final message for pile 3. Thank you so much, Spirit. Final message for pile 3. The Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy. So remember, forget what it is that we know. Forget the programming. This is my traditions, my belief, my lifestyle, my understanding, what I've learned of who I am and what I'm about. It's like, we can't be rigid in that. Okay, this is also unconvention, but it's like sometimes we're so fixated on a way of doing something or a way of being at the expense of experiencing. And it could be something that's requiring some form of commitment, or maybe we don't want to standardize ourselves here with this Hierophant in reverse. The Magician in reverse, the 10 of Swords in reverse. This is all preventing some sort of suffering and some sort of pain that we anticipate. And so I want to control the situation as best as I can. 5 of Wands in reverse for a second time. Final message, the truth, before I peace out of here. Back hurts, 9 of Swords, anxiety, anticipating what can happen, shoulda, woulda, coulda, what I did do, what didn't do. This is a whole bunch of anxiety, okay? Page of Pentacles. There's that youthful energy, ready to explore opportunity and potential. We have to let it be what it is. We can't control it. What it is what it is. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. We can't relate it with good, bad. That takes from me, it adds to me. It's like, no, there's no adding and taking. There's just experience. You have a potential right here, and you're anticipating the worst, and you're trying to prevent endings, or you experience an ending, and it's still not over because I'm in my mind making a whole bunch of stories about it, and I want the control. I want the control. I want the control. 2 of Wands. The opportunity eludes me, you know. Either I can't commit, or I'm not getting the commitment I want, or the understanding I have of who I have to be and how I have to be is now creating an obstacle. It's not allowing there to be a potential, an opportunity, or a choice in front of me. It's like, are you sure about this? Or are we just trying to control scenarios here? Trying to prevent heartbreaks, or trying to deal with something that's real? Because maybe there is a real ending we need to process. Or maybe we need to process how we internalize endings. But whatever it is that we do, our own mind is what's manifesting. So if I have a whole lot of anxiety, I manifest more anxiety. If I am believing something about me which is programmed and untrue, and it's creating a lot of anxiety here, I just cannot create what it is that I am wanting, and I create suffering and I create loss. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Wands in reverse, clarified by the King of Swords. Now he comes out to play, and the 10 of Wands. All right, so let me sit here with this energy. 5 of Wands in reverse and the crossed by the King of Swords. Okay, it does just feel like I'm waiting for 2 people here. There's the Queen of Wands. Okay, so we saw the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles. We saw the King of Wands over here in the reverse and the Queen of Wands. We were seeing the King of Swords coming out finally. Two people here. Okay, there definitely could be multiple people too, because we're seeing lots of queens and kings, okay? But it could just be different aspects of you or someone that you're dealing with here. I do feel there's either an ending, a loss, a disappointment here, or a separation. Lots of anxiety. And so the Queen of Wands could be one energy here. And it could be that she's wanting a new beginning, and she has a lot of anxiety because she's been hurt. What coulda, woulda, shoulda. Okay, stuck in her own mind prison. And we don't need our thoughts to control us. And it's like when we're in that story, we don't realize we're the character in that story. So when we're having these thoughts, we think it's happening to us. that we are becoming those thoughts and we're not. Once we rise above the thought, then we know that the thought only has one sort of angle. It's like processing from a very narrow understanding of energy. When we could rise above the thought and know that the thought doesn't control us, we could silence the mind. This is why meditation is very important here, okay? But if the thoughts are so intrusive here, we start to believe in the boogeyman stories. No matter how intense these thoughts are, don't believe the boogeyman. There is no boogeyman. There's just abundance. There's just opportunity. Even if we experience a loss here, there's only opportunity. It might seem like the worst of the worst, but there's opportunity. It feels like there's an opportunity that got removed here or something like this, okay? And we could be very dependent on a situation or a circumstance here. And if there's a King of Pentacles / King of Wands / King of Swords energy here, the advice Spirit is giving is like, again, the mind story and the understanding or the need to know creates the conflict and the burden. The minute we say, my feelings isn't something I need to explain, justify, or know, then I surrender. I'm not stuck in trapped thoughts because I feel both parties are in this 9 swords anxiety, which creates the tension in the real world, the arguing, whatever this is, but also the inner conflict, because I can't rectify all these thoughts because one means one thing, one means another, and they're contradictory, and then there's too many contradictory thoughts, and I can't make sense of it, and oh my gosh, overload, beep, 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 beep. It's like, yes, overload. We just surrender the thought. There's no need to understand emotion. Emotion is emotion. There is no need to know anything. There's just page energy, which means what? Exploring what is. Giving to situations here. There's a loyalty I feel on both sides here. And either we're withholding because there's too much fear. Fear in what if? Fear in not knowing. Fear in being conflicted. Fear in the heaviness. Fear of feeling threatened by some form of need to maybe commit or question our own beliefs. And it's like, unless our beliefs are questioned here and not taken as face value, as reality, there won't be an opportunity. The opportunity opens up to explore. The connection opens up when we surrender, when we know that our beliefs aren't fixed in stone, when we understand we don't have control, when we know that we're manifesting our reality based on the energy we're encompassing, that all is abundant, that we cannot control situations. It's not the more I know, the more control I have. No. Then the reality we can deal with. If there's endings, we could deal with endings and process it a lot faster. We could let people go if we need to let them go. Or if there is something that isn't supposed to be ended, we can engage without confusion and conflict. And it will be revealed to us where we're supposed to invest. Do we invest in the future in a way of engagement in this present moment? And how do I invest? How do I give to a situation? How does it become an equal distribution here? Or am I too wrapped up in my mind that I can't even invest here? I'm too busy fighting my own self, so I can't invest. That's the burden here. I can't make myself present. I'm too much in a manipulative energy trying to control outcome and narrative because I'm too anxious about what might happen or how it could go or what could happen here. And I'm dependent on the knowings. It's like, no, you'll never know because the universe could just come and tornado you all of a sudden. So there is nothing to fix onto. There's no fixed anything. We can have an idea, but don't get attached to it. We could question our own belief systems if we want to experience something different, or we could get very fixated and anxious on our thing and have a situation which won't be in a giving and receiving state here and create all sorts of burdens and heaviness. This we could just put down. But no, that's what's for you, will not pass you by. The High Priestess in reverse. So we don't know what we don't know. And so Spirit is really keeping whatever's supposed to happen here behind a closed door because I feel this is the lesson we're supposed to learn. This is the lesson. Not through being told word of mouth, not through society or beliefs or tradition, not how I've always done it or believed. All that gets to go out the window. Why? Because there's a path here that's opening, a path you're supposed to experience. So you could come to your own truth, your own understanding, based on experience, an inner knowing with the High Priestess, not through an anticipation, a guessing, a fear, okay, but a truth. And the truth will allow there to be change, but we can't resist it. We have to let the false fall. And we have to understand that there's always abundance, whether we see it or not. And we have to know that our feelings are driven by our thoughts, and our thoughts are a manifestation of our own attachment of belief. The thought can come and go, because thoughts we can't control. They're always going to come, go, come, go. We don't got to buy its story. Let it come, let it go. Let it come, let it go. And know that abundance is on the other side. Healing is on the other side. The heart has nothing to do with mind. The heart is separate from the mind. And when we see this, we pierce beyond the veil of loss, separation, lack, sadness, loneliness. That doesn't exist. It's an experience we're having because we believe it to be real. And we got to make it flow the more we practice it, the more it becomes our reality. You know, it's like if I say, look at this thing, and you see it differently. It's like the first time feels very awkward. It doesn't feel like it flows. It feels like it's opposite of your truth. But the more you do it, the more you start to see it. And the more you see it, the more it gets revealed to you. The truth is being revealed to you that there is abundance. You have to keep practicing the practice of abundance. The spiritual practice of abundance means I got to see through the illusion of the mind, the illusion of the anxiety, the illusion of the fear, the anticipation, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, none of that's true. That's all mind chatter. Don't give it life. The more you give it life, the bigger it grows, and you'll be stuck there in purgatory, in the suffering. And it's like every day, make it a conscious choice. Abundance is here. God is here. All truth is here. Do I want to see it? Do I want to align with abundance, or do I want to align with woe is me, heartbreak, suffering, sadness, separation? Those aren't true. They feel intense, but they're not true. The more you do it, the more you sweep away the distortion, the more of the truth is going to show itself to you. The more you'll be in line with abundance, the more beautiful things you can create. That takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage and strength to get in front of this thing and sweep away the distortion for things to be very clear. But only you can do that. Or you could choose the thought and run with that anxious thought and keep feeding that thought and be in depression. Up to you. You can allow it however you want it to go. That's the beauty of our free will. We could choose it however. Okay. Pile number 3, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.